Welcome to another episode of Sports and Discourse with your host, Derek Stevenson. And on tonight's episode, fortunately for us, we are celebrating a big win of the season. We got a very critical road win against a ranked opponent that we desperately needed. And I was actually impressed with my Wildcats tonight, man. I had started to lose a little faith in them, to be honest with you, and this game kind of restored a little bit of my feeling because I was getting to the point where I was starting to just buy into all these conspiracy theories. I'm gonna tell you some of the things that I was starting to think when I was watching this team play defense. I was beginning to think to myself, is somebody telling these kids not to try hard on defense just to keep themselves from getting injured, to keep their draft stock high? Like, I didn't know what was going on, but I had never seen a team with so many good athletes, so many naturally gifted and talented players be this bad on defense. So I was starting to just wonder all kinds of things. But tonight I was impressed. They played hard. They were tough tonight. They scrapped. They was playing in a rough environment and they was getting punched in the mouth, but they responded, and that's what I like to see because Auburn was definitely playing physical ball with them. But Kentucky competed super hard on the defensive end, way better than they had all year. I mean, they held Auburn, Auburn is a good team. And maybe Auburn, some of it was, Auburn just played bad tonight. Um, but Auburn's a good team. Auburn is solid. And it was encouraging to see Kentucky actually dig in and get one on the road. And I was really impressed with Adu Thero. Like, Adu Thero is just starting to really become one of my favorite players. And even though he may not be one of the more gifted players, he may not be, one of the highly touted recruits. I mean, he wasn't a garbage recruit. I think he was a 3 or 4 star by the time he got to Kentucky. But we ain't look at him the same way that we looked at a lot of our other recruits. But he's becoming one of the best players on the team, and I think a lot of it just has to do with his heart. He just plays hard. He's tough. He don't back down. He don't stop moving. He's always constantly trying to get to the ball, whether it be grabbing a rebound off the glass or trying to block a shot. Like, Thero is just hungry to get after the basketball. He's hungry to play hard on both ends, and I'm glad to see that he worked his way into the starting lineup, and now he's getting 33 minutes a game. We know last year, he wasn't really seeing the court like that. Calipari was disappointed in his work ethic last year. Calipari had made some comments about his conditioning and how he doesn't put enough time in. Probably like after practice, he's not getting up enough shots. He's not working hard. Calipari challenged him, and for me to see his growth and see that he didn't give up. I know at one point, he probably was considering transferring at one point over the summer. I mean, almost our whole team did. So I know at one point he probably thought about it. But I'm glad whatever he was going through, whatever feelings he may have, ultimately him and, probably I'm sure his family weighed in on it. I'm glad that they decided to, have him challenge himself to come back to even with all of these, all of these super recruits and just compete and earn his way onto the floor. He deserves it. Like I said, let's look at his numbers tonight. He had 14 points, 8 rebounds, 6 for 6 from the free throw line, shot 50% from the floor in 33 minutes. That's what we need right there. And if Adu can give us similar production like that going forward, that's going to be extremely helpful, especially when we get Trey Mitchell back, because if we have some of them other guys that don't necessarily show up, like if Brad Shaw is not giving much off the bench, if Edwards is not giving much, then we got a dude Thero to help Trey Mitchell and the rest of the usual suspects. So I was really impressed with dude, man. I just really love his game. Like like I said, he's just becoming one of my favorite players just because he's working hard. Like I see him out there hustling on both ends of the court. And I think Jordan Burks eventually will become a player that you can just see the effort. Like I feel like if he stays, at Kentucky and he works hard like a dude Thero, I feel like eventually he could work his way into the lineup the same way a dude did. And I hope that, over the next couple of seasons, those guys, keep growing and keep progressing, because those are some of the guys that I could see coming back on the team. I'm not sure how many of the other guys are going to be back next year. I'm not really anticipating Dillingham, Shepard, Wagner, Bradshaw, at this point, Onyenso. Like, I'm not really anticipating these guys coming back. So it's really it's really got me excited to see guys like Adu Thero starting to step up, because he could become like a very important piece to the team this year and moving forward with us having success. But I was just like I said, I just can't say enough about how impressed I was with him. Even though Antonio Reeves scored 22 points tonight, I feel like tonight was all about Adu Thero doing his thing. So like I said, shouts out to Adu. But anyways, we're gonna move on. I want to actually talk about some of the other guys, man. Rob Dillingham, he ended up with 11 points. I think he may have forced a little more than he normally does tonight. He was playing hard. He was trying to make stuff happen, and he definitely had a couple of plays where they was just those Rob Dillingham plays. Like he got in the lane, he might have been off balance, but he just knows how to find a way to get a shot up. But I do feel like there was a couple of plays where he probably forced some plays that maybe he shouldn't have forced. But like I said, a lot of guys, even though they may not have had the best statistical games, I was just happy to see that they were competing on the level that they competed on. That's what, like I said, that's what impressed me the most. Reed Shepard, he only had 4 points. He wasn't really getting, a lot of good looks. They was kind of up in him, making it a little difficult for him. But still, as always, he's going to scrap on defense, try to get his hands on some balls. He did have 3 assists. And 5 rebounds. Reed always plays hard. He always going to give you maximum effort. Even if he ain't necessarily scoring a lot, he going to always hustle and play hard. And same with Onyenso, man. Onyenso is another one for me that I'm really proud of his growth, because, to be honest with you, I thought Onyenso was going to play the least amount of minutes of all of our big men. I thought Bradshaw and Big Z was going to go back and forth between who was going to be the starter and who was going to be the better big man. And Onyenso just decided that he was going to play hard on defense, that he was going to try to block some shots. He was going to get in the way. He was going to run the floor. And he ended up, taking the starting position and majority of the minutes away from them other 2 guys, and deservingly so. He just makes stuff happen. Like I said, he just 11 rebounds. He's working hard on the glass. Yeah, he does. Obviously, he still makes some mistakes. It's pretty much all of them are going to make some mistakes. That's just the way it is. But we just loving the effort that we getting out of them right now. And like I said, Bradshaw, I don't know what's been going on with Bradshaw, but Bradshaw just ain't been able to get in rhythm. I think Bradshaw just, at this point in his career, he's just not physically strong enough. In the SEC play, Kentucky's been playing a lot of physical teams, and that might have been what's hurting Bradshaw. Maybe with certain matchups. If, we playing younger teams, he might be able to be more involved. But right now, um, you just got to be a super competitor to play for this Kentucky team right now. You got to be willing to get out there and scrap and mix it up. You got to push people around. You got to hold your ground. That's just, that's just where we at with it. And even DJ, man, like DJ only had 8 points. Hold on 1 second. I don't know why. I don't know if my chat is not showing up or what. But yeah, man, DJ out there scrapping, playing hard on defense, and just trying to make stuff happen. He didn't shoot the ball well, 1 for 6, 0 for 3 from 3, but DJ definitely competes no matter what, and he gonna always attack. He only had 8 points. He did hit all his free throws, but DJ is definitely gonna attack. He's definitely gonna make his presence felt on the court. Now, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm kind of concerned about Big Z, because for whatever reason, Big Z just can't seem to find his way into the game. Guys, my bad. I didn't realize that people was actually chatting. For some reason, I can't see any of my chat on my screen, so I'm gonna have to look at it on my phone. I don't want y'all to think I was just ignoring y'all. I was wondering what was going on, because I was seeing people in here, but I didn't know anybody was making comments. So let me address some of these. Andrew said Reeves is a pro. I'm still a little bit up in the air about Reeves, because I still feel like Reeves, I will say this, Reeves has been playing a little bit more versatile. He's been making a little bit more moves off the dribble. But I still ain't 100% sold on Reeves as a pro yet. I think he will get a look. And I love, like I said, he's going to score 20 points a night for Kentucky. But I like to see him make some plays and get some rebounds. He wasn't really making no plays for other people tonight, but he definitely was, crashing the glass, trying to help out. But he's got a shot. Anybody that can shoot as good as he can get as hot as he can, is gonna have a shot. Auburn played bad, but we face guarded the ball. I agree with that. Auburn didn't really play a great game, but Auburn definitely, I think both teams gave good effort on defense, to be honest, because in the second half, Auburn definitely they turned up on defense. It was almost kind of like the reverse. Like in the first half, Kentucky was they was really getting down. They was really playing some solid D. And then in the second half, Auburn turned it up. So definitely, I definitely like the defensive intensity on both sides for tonight. But definitely Kentucky, because we ain't really seen them get down like that the whole entire season. So hopefully going forward, that's what the type of effort we gonna get. Let me see. Huge win, the high lob from Reeves, one-handed, and one throwdown. Yeah, some of those plays were big plays, man. And I was getting a little worried because there was a little point in the second half where I felt like Kentucky's offense was getting really sloppy. And now I am starting to look at Cal a little more carefully. So there's moments where when they were starting to look a little sloppy and look a little out of sync, and Auburn was kind of pressing them a little tough. I was starting to wonder, like, Cal, are you gonna figure something out for the boys to help them get some shots? But yeah, they made some big plays down the stretch, definitely. Shepherd going number 2. What the F? Yeah, I've been seeing the mock drafts kind of been all over the place. I've been seeing so many different ones. Like I have seen one where Shepherd was as high as number 2. Then I seen some where he was, in the top 12 ish. I think I seen one where Rob may have been fifth or sixth, and he was like 10th or something like that. So, yeah, this all kind of been crazy. The mock draft, like I'd be interested to see exactly how this plays out. But I do think all of these kids would benefit a little bit more if they came back. But I can't really knock them. If they're gonna get picked in the top 10, they almost have to go. But I do think as far as the impact that they'll make going to the NBA, I think they will all be better served to come back one more year if they could. Let's just remember that we hated Cal 3 days ago. Now we on the high road. Yeah, man, I got to give the whole entire team, along with the coaching staff, some credit because I was super worried about this game. To be honest, I didn't know how it was going to play out. It was on the road. It was against a ranked team, so I was worried. We needed this one, and I just feel like Kentucky's got to get back to that point where when we playing ranked teams, that we are competing, if not, outclassing all of these ranked teams. Like, we got to at least be able to compete with everybody ranked in the top 25. And this year, they've been pretty good about that. They've got a decent amount of victories against top ranked opponents. It's just that they had a bunch of little blunders against some winnable, against some lesser quality teams that were winnable games. So they just got to get consistent. Like the way they play against the better teams, they got to be able to bring that same type of effort, that same type of intensity, no matter who they playing. They got to learn to play the same way and be able to impose their will on every single team that they play, or it's going to be tough for them. Refs couldn't figure out how they wanted to call fouls, 4 minutes of touch fouls and 4 minutes of hard fouls. I agree with you. It was a lot of questionable calls both ways. I ain't gonna really say that the refs was kind of in favor of either team. I think they pretty much called it. I think they called a fair game. I think it just was inconsistent, so it kind of made it a little difficult for the players to figure out how to attack the game. Because sometimes they would call touchy fouls, and then sometimes they would let stuff go. And then, it just kind of made it a little, it's probably a little difficult for the kids out there to figure out, what's too much and what's not enough. So it was a interesting officiated game. I say that. I know Bruce Pearl was really frustrated. Like every single time they called a foul on his kids, he was mad or he was thinking that it wasn't a foul. And there was a couple of times where he was probably right, but it was a lot of hacking in the game, but it was a lot of tough defense. I don't want to make it seem like everybody was just fouling. It was a lot of great defensive efforts from both teams. They was both guarding each other pretty well. Fortunately for Kentucky, they just did a little bit better job, and they held Auburn. Auburn shot a bad percentage from field goal and from three, so that's just one thing to help. The damn referees tried but fell short. Yeah. It was tough, man. It was tough. Andrew, I'm sorry, man. I'm not sure about Reeves yet. Like, I think, like I said, I think he got a shot, but I just ain't 100% sold on it. I just kind of feel like when they look at players, with as much experience as Reeves, even Trey Mitchell, like I think Trey Mitchell is probably the most pro-ready person on the team as far as like who could go into an NBA game next year and make a little bit of an impact. I think he might be the most pro-ready, but he probably would be one of the last ones drafted because he's just 23 years old. I think when they just see a 23-year-old, they feel like he's probably already reached his peak, and they don't want to invest as much in him as they do the younger players. Like when you look at guys like Onyenso or Reed Shepherd or Dillingham or Wagner or even Edwards, like you just feel like you ain't really scratched the surface of what they could potentially become. And some of them, they might might not work out how they think, but I think they just bank on the idea that hopefully they'll pick the right one and he will become a solid pro. So that's why it's just hard for me to really say yet. Best looking game all year is Raining Blue in Alabama. Yeah, it might not have been the best offensive game, but as far as total effort, as far as what you got on both ends of the court, it was the most impressive game they've had this season. Because it was one of the ones where if they would have dropped this one, things could have got real ugly for them. And they still not really in a great position, because I think the last time I looked at some bracketology stuff, I think they were supposed to be like a 7th seed or something like that, maybe. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. But 7th seed is going to be very difficult to win the tournament. Like, you're going to pretty much have all tough games all the way through it. And you're going to start to have to play some high-seeded teams pretty early in the tournament when you start dropping down in lower seeds. And, as much as I feel like his team can get hot, can explode, I don't want to see him have to play the whole entire tournament be really tough games. Like, I would like to see him have some competition where, they could kind of get their rhythm and work some things out, and then, slowly but surely round into shape when they start playing stiffer competition. So I want them to just somehow figure out a way to at least get a 3 seed. I don't know if it's possible at this point, but that would be the ideal situation. I doubt they could get a 1 seed at this point unless they just went crazy from here on out and won the SEC tournament. But if it's any way possible they could get a 3 seed, that would be a lot better. I feel a lot more comfortable, because 7 seeds that's going to scare me. They could be one and done with a 7 seed. I think Calipari needs to step his game up. He got lazy, but now he seems to be focused. You might be right. And Calipari just does and says a whole lot of weird stuff, and some of it is probably the reason why fans get frustrated with him, because sometimes he acts like a little too nonchalant, and he always kind of has this whole, like, don't worry about it, it's all good, like, we built for March. Like, he says all of these things that sometimes really annoy his fans, because it seems like he ain't taking it as serious as we are. It seems like he's really okay with losing some of these games, and it really, like, kind of, it kind of pisses us off, especially when it's some of the games that seem, winnable. And I think, he just kind of plays it cool, a little too cool sometimes, and hopefully, whatever they've been working on, hopefully it sticks. He said he was telling them things like, you see when you're watching the film, you see what these teams are doing to you. Now you need to go out and do it to them. I hope that, that's their attitude from here on out, because they got too many guys. They got too much height. They not really, like, physically imposing dudes, but they got a lot of size and a lot of quality bodies. So they should play more physical, if you ask me. Like I said, sometimes make some of them players feel you on the other end. When you got a foul a little hard, make them, wake them up, make them think about it a little bit when they drive into the hole, that they're going to know somebody's going to be reacting, somebody's going to be flying over, try to get some blocks, or some hard fouls maybe coming their way. You got to do things like that, not play dirty, but you got to play physical, just to keep the other team aware of it, keep that on their minds, intimidate them sometimes if you can. Yeah, Bruce was crazy. I love to see Bruce furious. I hate that guy. Bruce kind of gets on my nerves too, I ain't gonna lie, man. I think Bruce is a good coach though, but he annoys me. But I see why, like, the teams that he coaches, I see why they fans love him and stuff. He be doing all the crazy stuff, jumping in the crowd with his shirt off, doing all of that stuff. But I always like when we get a nice victory over Bruce, though. I ain't gonna lie to you. that's one of the coaches that I enjoy getting victories over. Uh, I would almost say the most right now. Um, I loved it you know a little bit more when he was coaching Tennessee because I just don't like Tennessee. So I definitely wanted us to put him down at Tennessee, but I'll take the victories over him with Auburn as well. But yeah, he was so mad, man. He was going crazy. Thero was the man this game. Thero stepping his game up. I think he's he now and I mean I'm not gonna lie to you. Thero still has a lot to polish up. Um, some of his decisions could be a little better. He could sometimes I think if I had to nitpick him, sometimes I would say he drives to the basket sometimes and he takes bad angles that kind of almost give the defender a little bit of an advantage over him. So I think if he was able to pick his spots a little bit better, he could finish a little bit better sometimes. But overall, I can't really say nothing bad about him because he's just putting out the effort. He's competing. And the way that this team has been playing over the last several weeks, that's the main thing we need. We need guys that's just going to be ready to compete, that's just going to be ready to fight, ready to scrap, not give up, not get discouraged, just keep playing hard. And he's definitely leading the charge on that. So definitely shouts out to him and Onyenzo. Onyenzo, he just came off the 10 block game. I don't know exactly how many he had tonight, but I know he had a few. But he's just getting after it. Like I said, sometimes you can have all the skills and all the natural gifts, but if you don't have the effort to match, you ain't gonna be able to utilize it. And then you have some players like Onyenzo and Thero who they may not be considered the most naturally gifted or the most talented, but they giving it everything they got on the court, and that's causing them to be a lot more productive. So that's what we need right now. We just need a lot of production. We need guys that's just ready to get out there and scrap, ready to make plays, and they've been definitely doing their thing. DJ, let's see. Trey is older than Reeves, right? I think they both actually 23 years old. I'm not really sure which one is older. I know that Trey is 23, but I think they the same age, to be honest. We needed this win. Proud of our cats. We needed this win very badly because it was just getting to the point where I feel like the whole team was just starting to lose confidence. Whenever that you start to have these records where you having the 3 losses in a row and it's not happened since 1966, and you have different things like that start to happen, then it could just be to a point where the team might lose confidence in itself. They might lose confidence in each other, stop playing for each other. They might give up on a coach. So a lot of things can go bad. So definitely, I was glad to see them fight and get this much needed road victory. So I was definitely really proud of them. DJ face guarded the ball tonight. Yeah, DJ. Like I said, he might not have the greatest offensive game, but he was giving maximum effort on defense. DJ is just one of those guys that he's tough. He's got the attitude that you want to have from a guard. Like, he's gritty. Like, he ain't scared of nobody. Even if he's playing bad, he ain't gonna fold up. He's still gonna have confidence in himself, and he's still gonna compete. He ain't gonna let nobody just run over him. You're gonna have to really give him some work to show him that you better, because he ain't gonna just give it to you. So definitely like DJ's effort. Excuse me. We're gonna get Tennessee at third place, and I say a 3 to 4 seed as long as they keep playing like this. I think it's possible. I really want to see them get the 3 seed. The 4 seed, that's when I feel like it starts to get tough for you. I definitely, I just want them to get the 3, and hopefully they can. We definitely got to get a victory. We got to get this next victory over Tennessee. We got to. I think they can though, especially if they play like this. I think they can if they play like this on defense, they can beat anybody in the country. I would say that maybe not UConn. UConn's kind of separating themselves a little bit, but everybody else I feel like is fair game for sure. But they just got to make sure that they give the effort. So we'll see. Let's see. Let Trey come back in March. Let's see how we are then. Yeah, I feel like as long as they winning, I feel like they're gonna try to hold Trey out for as long as they can to just let him heal up. If we can keep escaping game after game and get some more victories, I think you might as well just work Trey back into the lineup slowly, even if they practicing him, but just like not really play him, but just let him slowly get his legs back because he got to get his conditioning back up and things like that. So hopefully Trey will be ready by March because I do think that in order for us to make a deep run in March, we definitely gonna have to have the full team. We're gonna have to have full strength, and everybody's gonna have to be ready. Everybody's gonna have to be focused. Everybody's gonna have to be locked in. So hopefully, we'll get Trey back and we'll be ready. Bruce had 2 losses in 3 years. Here is number 3, Bruce. Yeah, man, Bruce. I think Bruce. I feel like Bruce really doesn't like Calipari either. So that kind of makes their little rivalry a little funny because I feel like they got some weird vibes between each other. Maybe I might just be imagining that, but I feel like they just got a little funny. Like I think they respect each other as coaches and they respect each other for what they've accomplished. But I think they really I don't really think they really like each other for real. So it's always good to see us give old Bruce a loss. Y'all need to look up the trash talk Bruce Pearl threw at Calipari about the sold out games and all that. This game meant a lot to both coaches. Yeah, I have to check that out and see exactly what he was saying. But yeah, I can tell they both wanted it. They both want to get them W's over each other. They both want to insert their dominance over each other. So I'm glad we came out on top this time. That's the most important thing. Can't stand flopping. It's sissy ball. Too many refs are allowing it. Yeah, I think like I said, I think it was just that I think it was just a lot of inconsistency with the referees. That's the main thing to me was I just feel like it's kind of hard when you out there on the court to really establish a flow in the game when you don't really know, like, are you gonna, if you play physical ball, are they gonna call you for fouls? If you drive to the hole, are they gonna give you ticky-tack fouls? Like, are you gonna have to earn it? Like, it just kind of keeps you in the state of like you not really knowing exactly how to move on the court. And there was a couple times, like I said, Kentucky benefited from some of those inconsistent calls. I think it might have been Reeves or somebody. It was somebody that went up for a layup, and it was kind of a little weak call. But we got to take ours when we get them because then they also, they take calls away from us. Like I think the foul that they called on Onyenzo when he blocked somebody. So you have those type of plays that go both ways. So it's kind of tough. Like I said, it's probably hard for some of the guys to get in the rhythm to feel out the game. But I was just glad that Kentucky stayed focused. Kentucky got the W. That's all that matters. And they can always use it as a learning experience when you got these type of games under your belt that you can go back and look to and when you're watching the film and you seeing guys push you, you might have to get a little lower when you're dribbling the ball. You might have to go through somebody, run a little harder, jump a little stronger. Like, it's just going to give them some experience that they're going to definitely need in March because you never know how the game is going to be called in March. They might make you play for real. So, we'll just have to see. Let's see. We get Alabama. It's over. Yeah, Alabama destroyed somebody tonight, I think, too. I can't remember. It might have been Vanderbilt. I think maybe it was Tennessee. Somebody. I think somebody absolutely like dismantled Vanderbilt tonight by like 40. I think it was Alabama, but I could be wrong. But Alabama is definitely one that worries me. Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be worried about every game from here on out because I think every game is crucial because now, we can't take any team lightly because we have to start working on getting a better seed. So, I'm ready for everybody, but I'm not looking past anybody at this point. So we got a lot of work to do. I think we can do it though, but we definitely got a lot of work to do. I think they are going in the right direction. I like the fact that we know who we are playing down low, and it looks like Onyenzo is getting better every game. Yeah, Onyenzo, I don't know who I would say is making the most improvement, if it's Onyenzo or Thero, because Thero didn't really play a whole lot last year, but he did get some run. Onyenzo didn't really play that much last year, and then he started off the whole first half of the season hurt. So you might even, say that Onyenzo is the most improved. And like I said, that's the one thing that Kentucky's just always better when they got elite rim protection. And he might not completely be up there yet with like some of the other guys we had, like the Isaiah Jacksons, the Anthony Davis, the Nerlens Noels, and, those guys. But he's getting close. He's getting close enough to where he's becoming a problem. He's becoming a guy that the other teams have to worry about. They have to account for him when they're posting up other players. They have to be aware that when they turn around to shoot, Onyenzo might be there to help defend. So he's definitely becoming a force for us. Play Onyenzo 40 minutes. Bradshaw can warm up the seat. Yeah, man, I thought Bradshaw was going to be a little more impactful. Definitely a little disappointed in Bradshaw. Bradshaw had a nice block tonight, though. I will say that, but he just got to do more. When he get out there, he gotta give a little bit better effort. He gotta just play a little stronger, get a little meaner, get a little rougher. And I think he'll be cool. Cal got these boys playing legit defense. They keep it up and improve even. They should have a decent shot at winning the SEC tournament. I would love to see them win the SEC tournament because I feel like this was the team that I thought had the best shot at it anyways. And winning the SEC tournament would be, that would be the stamp to where we could probably almost guarantee we would at least get the 3 seed. So they almost have to win it. We'll see, because like I said, the SEC, even though the SEC has a lot of teams that have lost a lot of games, a lot of the teams this year are losing a lot of games. It's not as many, usually, there's a handful of teams that have only lost a few games, but it's almost everybody except for like a couple teams has lost 5 or more. So there's a lot of parity this season. There's a lot of uncertainty. There's a whole lot of teams that on any given night can win or lose to anybody they playing. So at the end of the day, everybody is vulnerable to a degree. But that also makes me feel, confident still in Kentucky, because Kentucky has shown that they can put some games together, and when they put some games together like tonight, they playing defense like this. That's what we want to see. They just feel like a more complete team. So hopefully, this is what we're gonna see. I'll be cool if they don't play that great on offense, as long as they giving this type of effort on defense. I'd be okay, and I could live with whatever happens. At least I know they playing hard. They getting after it, because you can't always control if your shot's falling, but you can always control how hard and how much effort you're giving on defense. No matter what's going on in the game, you can always be in control of your effort on defense. And that's one thing that they got to keep in mind. They can play offense. They don't need to worry about that as much. They need to challenge themselves to hold teams under 60 points, even under 70 points, and they will be doing so good. So, yeah, that's what they need to work on. I'm with this team in Cal. We had a bad stretch, but we are starting to get to guard better. A lot of room for improvement, but we can do this, boys. Yeah, we definitely can do it. I still got faith in them, man. They still got the talent. They just got to put it together. They got to grow up. They got to turn from freshmen to juniors. That's what they got to start playing like. Adu Thero and Anyenzo and Reeves and them, they got to all be playing like seniors. So hopefully the team can take a turn. They can grow up. They can get a little better and be coming into the tournament guns blazing. Tennessee is a problem at their place. Yeah, Tennessee is always going to be a problem. I knew Tennessee was going to be a problem just because when you look at Tennessee's roster, it's a team full of developed guys. It's a team full of, experience. So Tennessee is definitely one of those ones that they could give us another L, but I think we'll be better prepared. And this game right here, I think will give them confidence against Tennessee because I feel like they'll think, okay, we've been in the physical game and won one on the road. We took the bumps. We know what it feels like when the referee ain't gonna give you every call, and you got to be strong and you got to finish through bodies. So hopefully this is gonna be the catapult. But anyways, guys, I don't know. You probably can hear it, but my grandson is in the living room. They all being loud in there, so I'm going to go in there and kick it with the family for a little bit. But once again, I'd like to thank you guys for joining me after the game. Big win tonight. Really proud of our guys. Can't wait to see what they do going forward. But anyways, you guys feel free to keep commenting and let me know, what else you thought about this game and what else you see going forward. And we'll get back at it next time. Sports and Discourse with Derek Stevenson. We out of here.